Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of The Strive Show, and today we are talking about Eat That Frog. You're listening to The Strive Show, a podcast that inspires action in those striving for impact in all aspects of their life, their business, and their health. My name is Dr. Jake Renacher, and I'm the founder of Strive Chiropractic, a business success coach at Epic Practice, Brittany's incredibly lucky husband of 15 years, and dad to 4 amazing kids. I will be giving you lessons, some I've learned the hard way, on maximizing your health, strengthening your relationships, raising remarkable children, and building a successful business. I will also be sitting down with extraordinary people to talk about their stories, lessons they've learned, and how they've made an impact in this world. Enjoy the show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Strive Show. Still trying to find a regular place to do these. I'm in my living room right now, dining room here, but hey, it's working. We'll rock it here today. So, weird concept and title for the podcast today, and Eat That Frog. Certainly, if you're unfamiliar with the book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. But I have used this book and things in this book throughout my life, and I wanted to share it with you because it's a very awesome stuff. And I suggest the book. It's a very easy read, but I'll do a little summary and also how I've applied it to my life. But really the Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy is a book talking about how to end procrastination or someone that may need motivation in their life. And how do you get it? How do you achieve it? How do you break that maybe procrastination cycle? I don't know when you're watching this or listening to this, but we are recording this during this coronavirus pandemic. And certainly motivation is lacking for a lot of people, right? And they're trying to find ways to get back into their routine. They're trying to find ways to just spark something in their life. And this is a really great way to do it. But really the book has 4 tenets. And the first one is really to make sure you identify the biggest, most important task of the day. And that really requires prioritization. How do you prioritize? Whether it be the night before, sitting down with a checklist or to-do list, or right away in the morning when you wake up, identifying what the day brings and what is the biggest, most important task that I need to accomplish. Not how many things can I check off the checklist, right? But what is the biggest, most important task that needs to be done, right? And you have to prioritize that. For me, it's a little bit the night before, but it's a lot of the next day. I wish I had it right here. I have an action planner that I plan my day and I plan my life around, but identify the key action items that I need to get done that day to make sure that if the day gets busy, I don't want to find myself just checking boxes throughout the day and get to the end of the day and not feel like I accomplished anything. I want to make sure that I accomplish that big task, the one that's really going to move the needle. There's a principle called Pareto's principle, and it's talking about 80% of the results that you achieve comes in 20% of the actions, right? Many people are familiar with this principle, but meaning that the 20% of the things you do that matter most are going to produce 80% of your actions. Now, unfortunately, that principle applies to a lot of other things in your life, meaning 80% of your problems come from 20% of your people, 80% of the headaches at work come from 20% of the clients. You name it, right? The 80-20 rule or principle, Pareto's principle, is something that's all over in our life. But the great thing is there's positive effects to it as well. And you can use it in the idea that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. So if you can prioritize your life and you can make sure that you take that on that biggest, most important task first, it's going to make sure that you feel accomplished throughout the day, number one. But it starts this domino effect of all the things that you get done during the day. If you can get that big action item done first, it is amazing what you can accomplish throughout the rest of the day. So you have to make sure you identify that right away. Number 2 is making sure you take solitary action immediately in the morning. And I might have combined 2. It's solitary action and doing it immediately. It may have been 2 of those different things. But the idea of it is do it right away. Right? If you can do it in the morning, that's the idea of Eat That Frog. I think it was something that came from a Mark Twain book. The idea that, if you eat the frog right away in the morning, then that's the worst thing in your day. Your day becomes better because you already did the worst thing first thing, right? But that's something to think about, is to make sure you take immediate action in the morning. Do it right away. Get that action done. If there's an email you don't want to write, if there's a project that you're working on that you don't want to do, something that's around the house that's like, I want to push this off. Get that done first. Not only you feel most accomplished, but it's amazing how much you'll get done during that day. I know you've all had flashes of this in your life. If this is something that you're working on or struggling with, is that you've had those days where you've done that big thing first, and it's just knocked down a dominoes throughout the day and you just felt so great, think back on those days. And this is probably a big part of why that is because you did it first and you took action on it right away. Guys, this podcast is a perfect example, right? This is something that I knew I needed to get done today. I got home from the gym. I'm still in the clothes I had from the gym. It's 6 a.m. In the morning. And I just wanted to get this thing done because I knew that it was important. I knew that it would be applicable to you. I hope it would help you if you're loving this. Hopefully you are. We're episode 2, yet to be seen, right? But I knew it was important. I knew I wanted to get done right away in the morning. And I know that throughout the day today, I'm going to feel massively accomplished. I'm going to get a lot of other things done because I did this first. So make sure you do that for yourself. That third part, which I kind of combined there, is just making sure that you are singular in your focus, right? That you're making sure you take on this task and you just focus all of your energy on it, right? I think sometimes in this idea of multitasking in a multitask world, people forget that multitask is multi-focus and rarely done, right? Because if you're like me, I'm guilty of this big time, is that you start or have 50 different things going on, and the next thing you know, you have 50 things going on that are all half done, nothing's finished, and it causes more stress than if you were to just sit down and finish one. So make sure when you prioritize your list and you start taking action that you're solitary in your focus, and you're making sure that you're not multitasking and not finishing anything, because that will help you feel accomplished and not all of a sudden add more things to your plate that are undone and not finished. And all of a sudden, who knows, now you got 50 unfinished projects and you're more stressed than you were to begin with. And that brings us to the last one, is finish. Finish what you start. Right? And it might be a big project. It may not be something you can finish today, but give yourself parameters. I'm going to do this for a half hour. I'm going to get, steps 1, 2, and 3 done. I'm going to do this so I can finish and feel good, feel accomplished, and move on to the next project. You know what it is. I talked to an author who was talking about this, and he made himself write X number of pages or words or whatever it was to feel accomplished each day as he was moving towards writing his book, which I thought was a great thing. Got up, did it right away in the morning, focused only on it, finished what he set out to do, and it was accomplished throughout the rest of the day. A great example of eating that frog and using Brian Tracy's principles in action. So this is something that takes work, right? I don't want you to think that like, oh, I do this and I think about it and it's done, right? It's going to take work. It's going to take something that you have to put into. It's also something that it takes practice to get good at it. Right? You may do it tomorrow and you're like, oh, that was okay. Well, that's okay. Keep going, right? Keep taking action forward and it will get better, right? Because what's going to get better is you're going to get better at prioritizing. You're going to get better at solitary focus. You're going to get better at finishing, right? You're going to be better at just jumping on that landmine right away in the morning. Because I'm guilty as everybody else of having days and that hopefully don't stretch beyond days or a few hours. I've gotten better at that in my life, of times when you just feel unproductive. Right. And if I can trace back the times I felt unproductive, I haven't done these things. Right. And if I look back in the times I've been massively productive, this has been a big part of it. Right. I'll hopefully talk in a podcast coming up about a concept of miracle mornings and how to really make sure you solidify your morning routine to make sure you can gain massive action and energy for the day. It's something that I utilize and love in that aspect of everything that we do. But make sure that you're using at least this eat that frog principle to start gaining some motivation. If this is a time for you that you're just feeling unmotivated, that you're unaccomplished, that you don't have any wins in your life and you're just feeling kicked by the world, this is a really good way to do it, right? Start with that eat that frog principle. Start with making sure you get up and get something done, and you'll be amazed at how many dominoes you start knocking over in your life and how productive your day feels by the end of the day. So I hope that found you guys well today. Can't wait. It's been a fun project that we're doing. I hope you're finding value to it. If you are, always make sure you share with your friends, subscribe, do all those fun things that you normally do for this stuff, whether you're watching it on social media, you're listening on our podcast. Thank you guys so much for being part of this journey with us. And we will have some really cool interviews coming up. Got a couple scheduled very soon, and I can't wait to share those with all of you guys. So until next time, guys, take care. Thank you for listening to The Strive Show. If you are watching this on our social media channels, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Also, if you loved and found value in today's episode, please give us a review and share it with your friends. Hope you have a fantastic week, and remember to always strive for impact.